Well, if you're coming to visit the Park Rapids area this weekend, you're going to notice a few environmental changes. Lilacs are blooming, dragonflies are starting to hatch, and the popple pollen is in full force floating around in the air. This is Jason Durham with Go Fish Guide Service, bringing you this week's Park Rapids Area Fishing Report, brought to you by Delaney's Outdoors. There is a lot of activity going on right now in the environment. Water temperatures are starting to slowly rise. We've had a lot of rain here in this last week, but every time the sun comes up, it's heating up that water, and we're starting to see some of those shifts. Like we're seeing the lily pads that are up at the surface, which is great for this weekend. Memorial Day weekend is the opener of largemouth and smallmouth bass season in Minnesota. Now, the catch and release season started 2 weeks ago. Now you can actually harvest those fish if you'd like to. Smallmouth bass right now are just starting to spawn. They've established their nests and they're in that process. So up here in the northern part of the state, we definitely encourage you to let those fish continue to do what they're trying to do and reproduce, because we can always catch them later on in the summer, and then we're not disrupting that process. Crappies right now are also they're on their bed. Some are finishing up. It just depends on what lake you're on, but those water temperatures right now range from anywhere in the mid 50s up to the low 60s, but it depends on the day, it depends on the bay you're in, and it depends on time of day as well. That's surface temperature. So crappies, I would go up in those areas where they spawn. Get up in shallow water, get up against the bulrushes and the cane, and you're going to find some fish there. But don't be afraid to scoot back just a little bit out where the cabbage weed is, out in that 6-8 feet of water. And if they're finished spawning, you'll find them out there anyway. Sunfish, they have not spawned yet. We're a couple weeks out, but again, be selective about what fish you keep, because we want them to be able to reproduce. Walleye anglers have had some great success in this last week, and I would predict that this weekend could be some of the best that we see this spring. Right now, the lilacs are blooming, and if you talk to any angler who's been around the block, they'll tell you when the lilacs bloom, the walleyes bite. So get out there and catch some walleyes. Those fish right now are biting anywhere from about 8 to 15 feet of water or so, but again, it just depends on the day, the area. You might find fish up in 2 feet of water. You might find fish out in 20 feet of water. Use your electronics and let the fish talk to you. If you're not getting the bites, if you're not seeing minnows, anything like that, you got to make an adjustment. Northern pike anglers have been successful. A lot of pike being caught. I haven't heard of too many that are over the top large, but as we get further and further into June, you're going to see a lot more big pike that are reported. And the muskies, of course, are not open yet. That is still, you can't target them. You can't catch and release. You are leaving them off limits. We've got another week to go. Well, this is Jason Durham with Go Fish Guide Service, wishing you a safe and successful weekend, Memorial Day weekend, out on the water in the Park Rapids area.